It's time to start. The first thing I need to say is I need to say thank you. Thank you for trusting this project, for being here with us. And I'm pretty sure that you will gain a lot out of this experience that we're having today. What we are going to be doing is one painting per day. Is a class that will like go from 9 o'clock until about 3:30, more or less 3:30. Sometimes it's 4 o'clock. Sometimes it's never before, but it's always the latest that we can be here is 3:30. No, the earliest that we leave is 3:30. Okay, and this I just have to say something for the people who are going to see this video. This is what happens when we do. A session live with people, with actual people who are taking the class. This is something that you will see in the workshops online segments of it. So whatever information that you see here, it will be completely explained and shown all the way on online. Okay, so thank you for those people. To those people who have bought the online workshops, efrengonzalez.com. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm done with them. Now we're here. Okay, so what we do is it goes like this. I have to first of all set the rules. What do we do? What we don't do? What we don't do is we don't go talking, chatting about anything that has nothing to do with what we do in this class. Okay. Now, if you need to talk about something and you must, it's okay. It's not like there's no rule to say you cannot talk to anyone. Yes, we can talk, but we have to be conscious of the next person closer to us who is not in the conversation, or even the one that's in the conversation as well. We need to make sure that everybody has the concentration that they need. Okay, and that is important because if you are bugging someone, most likely you'll be bugging me too, and my concentration just disappears, and I don't want that to happen. I am here to help each and every one of you to the max. I want to make sure that you do your best. I don't know who you are. I don't know what experience you have. So I will treat all of you as true beginners. Okay, I'm going to go step by step. I will do what I usually do in my workshops, which is I'm assuming you paid me so that I can give you everything that I have. And I'm not going to keep anything. I give you everything. I was told once by someone said, you teach too much. You give them all the information. You should keep some for yourself. And I said, they pay me the full amount that I ask. So I'm going to give them the full amount that I have. And the thing about it is that in 20 some years that I've been teaching, I haven't found one person who can retain it all. There is no one who can do that because there's so much information. This is a language. This is a way of communication. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to give you a few pieces of vocabulary, a few words that you will learn. And then I will show you how to put them together to create a sentence. And so to expect here to come and take a class and suddenly be doing it like a master, it's unreal. We have to work together. We become like a team. I'm kind of the coach, and if I see one of my team members stay back a little bit, I'm not gonna continue with everybody else. I'm gonna say to everyone, please hold it a little bit. We're not letting anybody back there. So I'm gonna go grab this person and bring it here now. But when you are seeing those things, suddenly you're inspired, by the energy is so wonderful that you're inspired by other people. And before you know it, it's like, I got something from Efren, but I got something from the person who was sitting next to me because I saw what she's doing and I saw her struggle. By the way, I love to see people struggle. That's how I feed my soul. I said, thank you, God, for sending these people to feed my soul. And okay, so things that we need to know. I'm going to be showing you basic stuff. Okay? It's very simple, but it's not easy. Why is it not easy? Because what I showed you here, when you're watching me, it's very simple. It's like, sure, I understand. Sure, I I figure I can do that. But when you walk from here to your seat, something goes, yeah. And I will be there to help you. I will be trying to remind you. I will say, listen, remember what we spoke about. Remember how I did this, how I did that. Because what will happen is that you are going to go back and you will dive in with your own resources. So what I told you here suddenly disappears, and you're trying to use anything that you have to not drown in that. But I will be there. I will be there helping you. Now, if I see that you're doing well and your painting is going on track, I'm going to leave you alone. I'll encourage you a little bit. But if I see the opposite, then I will come and I will say, please allow me to put a few strokes on your canvas. Why? Because I can say everything, 10,000 words, and the message won't be clear. When I show you, when I do how it works, then everything changes. Then it's like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Well, the reason is quite simple. I've been doing it since I was 5 or 6. I'm 53, so that's a little more than 45 years thinking about art. Solutions, even when I am sleeping. I see things and I'm like, oh, I got to paint that. Now I know how to do it. So things come to me naturally. Sometimes it's kind of a burden because, I would want to live just a normal life, just be a normal human being, but I can't. And I'm okay with that. I love it, but sometimes it's like, man, I wish I had a day off. But it doesn't happen. So we respect each other. Okay? This is not a competition. We're not here to prove to the other people that I'm better. That's not the point. You're certainly not here to prove to me that you are better than me. If that was the case, why pay me? Right? So we don't judge anything. You have to put your expectations down to the ground, down there. That way, anything that goes right will feel like a success. If it's the other way around, you're expecting something huge and beautiful and ready to be framed and go to a museum, you may be discouraged. Yeah. So the idea is, let's put it down, let's work together. I take lessons. I have two workshops in Mexico City in April. I'm going to be taking watercolor lessons with a Russian master. So when I go there, I don't think of the 3 competitions in watercolor that I won first place. I put those behind. I'm like, and then I have to be realistic and think, okay, I won first place, but the competition was pretty low. So I won. Yes, I can brag about it, but when I write about it, I don't say the competition was not good, so I won first place. I just keep those things to myself. So, but when I go and I take lessons with him, I'm not there to show him what I can do. I'm there to learn from him. That's why I pay, right? So whenever you do something, it goes wrong, don't hesitate. Just keep on doing. There's nothing worse than not doing. If you are not doing, I cannot help you. I mean, I can go and say, come on, gotta go, do something. But don't be afraid of mistakes. If you make mistakes, whatever mistakes you do will give me information. How I can help you. I will see what you are lacking. I will see what you are doing well. But if you don't do those things, if you don't execute, there's nothing I can do. So if your canvas is empty and you call me and you say, Efren, please come. I don't know how to make this color. It's not the right question. It's not asking for help at the right moment. First, you got to show me, you got to do. I say always something. I say to people, hopefully you can come up with the right color and hopefully you will put it in the right place. That's pretty low, basic, no expectation thing. But that allows you to create. That allows you and pushes you to do. I had a lady last week in La Manzanilla. She kept calling me. Oh, that's another thing. If you keep calling me like 10 times, 15 times, after the 3rd or 4th, I will start to kindly ignore you. because I need you to execute. Okay? So go ahead and do it. 10 minutes. No hesitation. I walked away. 10 minutes, I came back, and the whole canvas was done, and it was beautiful. She did great, and I had to tell her. I couldn't hold it to myself. Oh, you did más o menos. No, you did great. Why? Because you allow yourself to do. You are doubting yourself so much, you go into inactivity. You're not doing anything because you're afraid. And that's most people's cases in life. You know, I just jump in. If it doesn't work, well, what the hell?
Right.
As long as I don't die, I think everything else is manageable. You know, that's kind of my attitude about what I do. And I think that I still have a lot of things to say, but I think I'm going to sit and start doing because it's necessary to show how it happens. Please enjoy. Enjoy. That is, if you can enjoy this class, then you will learn more. You know, if you're stiff and you're what am I doing here? Why did I listen to whomever forced me to do this class? Why did and I even have to pay for this thing? So relax. Just take a deep breath and go and say, okay, I am in Efren's hands. If something goes wrong at the end of the day or at the end of the workshop, then you can blame it on me. It hasn't happened. Okay? I've been teaching for 20 some years. At first, I used to apologize myself because I didn't know what I was doing. But I told people and they still said, we still want your class. That everybody has the same palette. There is a reason why, this is in this order. When you ask for more color, if this section is messed up and you need more of that, we're not gonna go and put it somewhere else. We're gonna clean that spot and put it in the same place. It's almost to make it as easy as possible so that if you are painting, you can almost grab the color without seeing it because you know what it is. You're not gonna find your white here today, tomorrow here, and then in other places. It's always the same. And something that I do when I'm painting myself is that I have the tube of white on the table right here, yellow, orange, red, and all of the tubes right there. I don't have them in a basket, all piled up, all covered in mud color. I can't stand that. It's not the way to work. This is how it needs to happen. This here that looks like honey is liquid, the product that speeds up the drying process on your paints, and it also allows your paint to move easier and more comfortable. You should be using it slightly, just a touch here and there. But every time, it's almost like sugar or salt, whatever you put into your food, you take a little bit of that every time. That will make sure that your painting dries evenly and quickly. Okay, instead of 2 weeks, it will dry in 2 days. So you have to be using it. And then you have odorless solvent, which is in a little container like this. You should have it clean all the way to the end. Okay, so let me show you how that can happen. So let's say I have my brush and my brush is contaminated. It has a color that I don't want anymore. Okay, the one thing that I do to clean my brush is I go like this, I wipe away the excess 2 or 3 times, and then I just touch the solvent to bring some of the solvent into the brush and clean up a little bit, make it a little bit softer, and then I go like this again. And then I can go to any color, whatever it is, white or whatever it is, and use my brush, and it's completely clean, and my solvent is still clean. So don't go like this. When it's dirty, don't go like that. That we did when we were 5 or 4. Now, if you do it, it's no problem. But my job is to tell you what is right and what is wrong. Speaking of 5, for some of you, when you start doing, because as kids, we all do art until about 8, 9. Then we don't think it's cool anymore. Then it's like, oh, I'm growing. I don't have to do art anymore. I can just go and do something else, a bicycle, going to sports, school, other girlfriends, boyfriends, and all of those things take over. And then art is left behind for most of us. The system is designed to do that. So we have to think letters, numbers, and reading, writing instead of art, which is the way it is. So the idea is that now that you're doing, so you start, and you haven't done it in, I don't know, I'm going to guess 50 years. You take the brush, and what you do takes you right back to when you were 5 or 6 or 7, whenever you stopped. So there was a stage when people that you did, your papa, your grandma, whomever, you did the big head and then the little arms and the little legs. That's what we do. That's how we all do it. It's not just a couple. Everybody does it that way. And then the evolution comes. So what I want to do is to see that on you, to see that if that is the case, then I will find out a way to bring you to what you need to do today. It's a shortcut to better results that we're doing when we take a class. Okay? I cannot go back with you and take you, back to when you were 6 or 7 and then walk you slowly by experience. We don't have that luxury. We don't have the luxury of time. We got to use this week and give you as much as possible. You understand that, right? Okay, so this is what happens. You have your palette on a little table like this. Okay? I cannot have my palette here because then you cannot see my my color combination, everything that happens. See, they shouldn't have done this because I need my palette to be up high.
Is the palette MDF?
Yes, but I have glass also. I have actual wood. I have many palettes.
You have the same chair.
And you like always square?
Yes. Well, sometimes it's like 4 times.
Uh-huh.
And so it's a little bit longer so that I can reach all the way. Okay, so see, that's going to work now. What I just did, I unloaded my palette so that there is not going to slide, I hope, when I do what I have to do. Okay.
What's the tone on the canvas?
They do. Alex, basically, he does whatever he wants. I think I want it always kind of rust color, and having it this color is excellent because, well, the first goal of working with a canvas this color is to avoid white. That is the main goal. I worked for many years against white, and I didn't know better, so I just kept on doing it. But eventually, I came into this. Well, somebody showed me and told me about it, but I didn't believe. I just kept on with white. It's like those days when somebody tells you don't touch the stove, it's too hot. Well, you still can't try. You gotta feel it. So that's kind of what happened here. I kind of didn't listen to the man, but as time went by, I came back to the solution that yes, it is important to have something that is not white. Okay, so I told you what it is. I told you what it is and what it is down here. So this is how we start. We don't have pencils. We don't have charcoal. We don't have anything to draw with, carefully and all of those things. So what do we have? What we have is paint. And what I like to do is, for instance, I like to go to the red first, and then I go to Prussian. They're together. That's another thing that they shouldn't have done. It's the 6 colors up there. This one should be up there. but I don't think my guy is still, I mean, is totally awake. So here we are. This is my ink. Now that ink as it is too thick. Let me do something here. We are going to work like this. The first day is usually the most difficult day because I have to go through all of these that I'm doing here. The first thing we're gonna do is gonna go from dry. Oh, no, that's not right. I'm still not awake. We're going to work from big to small. We are going to work from dry to wet. These are things that you need to do. Learning in a class, it's all about grabbing and taking as much information as you can. So anything that happens here that you can learn will be wonderful. The other one is dark to light. And one that it's kind of new, but it actually works too, is loud to quiet. So I will explain everything that happens here. Okay, so we're gonna go from big to small. What is big to small? Well, let me show you what big to small means. Okay, so I have my ink. Look, I even brought another load of solvent. So I have it here. So this is the big to small that I see. That's what I see. Can you see that? Right about there. So I'm showing you stuff that I see that is beneficial to me. Look, you see this thing? There are no trees, there are no mountains, there are no rocks, nothing. All that you see is the measuring. Make this very clear because I want you to measure. You have to measure your project. You can't just do randomly. For those 3 mountains, it looks like 2, but there's 3 because on the lower left, there's a smaller one. So you got to think about those things. And then this is what I need to think about. So this is, I don't know, I'm going to say ground, okay? Ground, mountains, tree. This is the measuring that I need to see on your canvas. Now, look at my lines. My lines are not the darkest that I can do. My lines are only very slight things that give me an idea of where things are. So this is what? Sky. So simple. So now, once I did that, then I have to go in there and I have to bring some level of definition. So what does that mean? Well, it means something like this. That's the first one there. It looks like a low pyramid. Okay? And then there's another one back here. So usually I like to do more or less what I see. Here I am giving myself a little bit of freedom, which is a mistake because then you think you can have a little bit of freedom. You cannot have a little bit of freedom, not yet. So then we have this one here. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. That's what I have up there. And then back here, it doesn't matter because I'm going to have the trees anyhow. And now I'm going to go and do what I see. That's the key. The key is you have to do what you see. Something happens when we're looking at a project like this, because this is what we used to do when we were kids. We look at the subject, we go to our palette, we mix the color, and we have our brain, our mind, memory is creating an image, is doing its work, and it's saying, okay, this is what I see. But if you work on it with the resources that you have, you're going to simplify it like when you were 7. We can't do that. Today, you have to work with the photograph. That's the source of information. That's what we want to have. Okay? So sometimes, many times, people look at the subject, mix the color, and then they paint like this. Because they're remembering what the picture said. They're not working really with what's there. I am avoiding that situation. I'm telling my brain, don't do crazy stuff. Don't give me those whimsical ideas. Just allow me to work with what I see. Okay? If I can do that, if I can tell my memory to obey, then we're gonna have a good day. If you cannot tell your memory to listen to you and let you do what you see, then we're gonna have a difficult day. But look at what I'm doing. So I'm respecting the lines that I did. Now look at the lines that I did at first. They're disappearing. They're suddenly hiding under the most recent lines that I have. So listen to that too. So this is all preparation, right? Nothing here is going to be seen about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You won't see anything of what I have here. But it's very useful to do it now so that I can do my work properly. And you hear that brush? That's when it says loud to quiet. If I walk around the rooms and I don't hear anything, if you're all quiet, at this time of day, something is wrong. It's like the little kids on the other room, trying to be scientists, putting a fork into the electrical connection. I've seen that. So when you're not doing anything, when you're not making any sounds, I worry. Well, first of all, I take away all the forks. I don't leave any of the forks there. That's my sketch. Okay, so now just there it is. I can work with this. So what I showed you, it's only the first part. Big to small, thinking big shapes, measuring, finding out where things need to be. Imagine that I didn't measure and I started here with the little tree and then another one and another one. And then I come here and I need another section like this on my canvas because I didn't measure, and suddenly it's either too big, too small. To avoid those situations, this is what you do. You measure. You cannot start digging for foundations for a house without measuring, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
If you want it to stay.
Well, not only if you want it to stay, but if you want to have enough room for the bed in the bedroom, or the table in the dining area. If you don't measure those things, you may end up with something that's not going to be good. Now, once I got here, something that I start thinking about, well, first of all, let's analyze. Dry to wet. Okay, I'm going to do the opposite, just for your own pleasure. That's not dry. Twice. Look at how it's dripping and look at the chunk of dark right there. Now, if I go like this, it's going to be a mess. So I'm trying to give you the two perspectives of how what it means to go from big to small, dry to wet, and also dark to light. So the only benefit of this is that I have the ink darker. So if I have something darker, now as soon as I start filling in already with the dark, which when I say dark to light, it means the first color that I'm going to be using is black. But when I start using the first color that I'm doing black, then I touch the gel. Okay, so if the moment comes and I'm ready to start painting, what I have done is I have switched. So my solvent, this is a sign. You don't have to do it, but it's a sign to tell you what it is that I mean. I'm putting my solvent down here. Okay? That means I'm not going to use it anymore. That means I'm going to rely now on the gel because I'm starting to paint. The only other use I have for the gel is if I need to clean my brush. Yes, yes, I'm sorry, from the solvent. So look, it means absence of light. Why do we have absence of light? Because somehow an object is covering the light, and then all we see is the darks. So this is what I mean when I say dark to light. And then, now the only thing that doesn't work is this stain right here. Well, it actually works, it's in the right place. So now I want you to think about something that means when I speak about dark to light. This is the darker color that I can get. So the option is to go from here to the left to eventually get to the light. So this is almost like a piano. The deeper sounds, the darkest sounds are on the right. And as the day goes by, we will be heading to the light. So the finer tunes, the finer notes that we will hear at the end of the day will be the lightest ones. And then we need to be quiet, because if at 2:30, 3 o'clock, I hear the sound of your brush going like crazy, something is off. Something is not right. Any questions at this moment?
Yes, the two blues are Prussian blue, and what was the other one?
Ultramarine.
And what's the difference?
Well, ultramarine has a lot of red in it, which allows it to do nice purple. Nice skies, nice other things. And Prussian is the darkest color that we have in our palette. So if you pay attention, something that I did is I first, instinctively, I first went to red and then to the Prussian. Because if I go the other way around and I don't do it correctly, I don't do it carefully, my red will be contaminated with the blue, and I don't want that to happen. I want to keep my colors clean. I will show you. When your colors get contaminated, because they will, that's why I have my team of people, making sure that everything is right in your palette. Please, I want you to think about this. I want you to enjoy. I want you to have fun. But I want you to learn. And when you think you came to something that is really nice, I'm going to push you a little farther to make it even nicer. But you have to stay with me and you have to trust me. If there's anxiety, if there's fear, if you're nervous, your painting will show that. And I will see that. And when that happens, I'm going to go right there and say, you got this. You can do it. And I will show you how. I will sit. On the first day is the day that I usually sit more in your chairs to show you. The second day, a little bit less. On the third day, you're telling me, Efren, stay away, let me do. That's usually what happens. On the fourth day, I'm sleeping all morning. You're on your own. That's what we want. We want you to do and accomplish, but I want you to accomplish in a good way. I want you to really enjoy, really learn. Now, if at the end of the workshop you decide, well, it was a good experience, but I don't want to paint, I don't want to be a painter, I don't want to do it anymore, that's fine too. I have people who year after year, they only paint with me. They go back, they get involved with life, children, grandchildren, the community, projects in the house, this, that, the pets, everything takes over. And then I had Daniel last week, amazing work he was doing. And I said, Daniel, you paint a lot? He said, no, I only paint here with you. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that. Another thing, some people have made this a tradition already. They come, they take 1 or 2 workshops from me at the price that you are all paying, and then they sell their paintings at about $250, $300 per piece. So they get much more than what they pay. And someone asked me, "Are you okay with that?" Because they're selling the paintings that you taught them with, and I'm like, you know what? It's their paintings. I don't care what they do. As long as they come and they pay what I want, that I'm good with whatever they want to do. So there's a lot of, I like things easy. There's a lot of freedom in what we do. Any questions? No questions? Yes.
So I struggle with the brush going. I feel like I'm ruining a brush.
Okay. Well, ruining a brush. Don't worry about it. It's not your brush. It's my brush. Yeah, it's my brush. But you said something that is good. You know, when you start doing, you made me think. I thought you were going another direction. I thought you were going on. At first it looks like a mess. Well, there are 4 stages, más o menos, that I discussed with a master in Hastings, Minnesota. I take lessons from him in watercolor. He says there are 4 stages. First stage. Your painting is supposed to look like crap. And you have to be okay with that. You just, okay, here we are. It's a mess. But I can see when there's an order in your mess. Second stage, it's amateur. It's beginning to show a little something here and there. Third stage, it's got potential. Fourth stage, voila. There it is. Now, I learned this the hard way. You have no idea how many times I failed, and at the crappy stage, I gave up because I didn't know any better. I couldn't see into the future. Not even the future of the next 2-3 hours. I couldn't see. So I threw it away. Oh, this is not good. Because I was expecting masterful strokes. I was expecting my painting to look great from 0 to 100. That's a huge mistake. You gotta be able to accept crappy stuff at first. Yeah, well, it looks like crap, but yes, I have hope. And then when you start putting things in place, it's like a puzzle. And then you start putting more, and eventually it gets easier because you have less pieces to put in there, and you can understand the whole image. And the last few ones, if you're with someone else, you're fighting over the last few pieces because I know where I saw this one, So at the end of the day, it's a huge enjoyment. But thank you for that. I want you to understand that there is a process. You're not going to start with masterful strokes. I threw away so many paintings. I have so many stories, but you have to work. So I'll tell you later. For now, please remember, we are going to go from big to small, and we are going to measure first. Locate things, locate spaces. Don't think, I need the mountains, I need the trees. No. Remember how I did. I separated my canvas. Just boom, a line. If your line is wrong, it's no problem. You don't have to erase it. Because look, the lines that I did, except this one, other than that, you don't see any of the lines I did for the measuring. I see your little heads with a little bit of smoke coming up here. Okay? Let's do it. I will be right there with you, making sure you do good work. There's a lot of information. The first day is a little more difficult because you have to learn to understand my accent, to see how I think, to try to grab as much, to feel confident to say, Efren, I need you here now. When you have that confidence, I know I am in front of someone who will accomplish everything. But at first, it's normal. Okay? Let's do it. Everything is in your palette. Okay, so what you are seeing here, what you just saw, it's with students, with people here taking my class here in Ajijic, Mexico. And this is what I show you in online, on my online workshops, on my online teaching. And everything that I share with people when I am in an actual class with them is the same thing. You know, we work from big to small, dry to wet, dark to light, loud to quiet. This is only my first attempt of putting things where they belong. This is the basic palette that we normally use, and this is my subject up here. And all of this is information that you can get through the workshops. The big advantage of doing it through online workshops is that you can see the demos, the explanations over and over and over. So thank you for watching, and remember, efrengonzalez.com. Thank you.